see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides on political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News at 7. I am Ebunlomo Adekunle. The Council of State, presided over by President Goodluck Jonathan, has confirmed the appointment of Suleiman Abba as the substantive Inspector General of Police. It was confirmed at a Police Council meeting held in the Presidential Villa shortly before the Council of State session. Presidential spokesman Reuben Abati disclosed this to newsmen at the State House. Abba was appointed acting Inspector General on August 1 after the retirement of his predecessor, Mohammed Abubakar. He is the country's 17th indigenous head of the Nigerian police. The police authorities are to deploy British-trained police personnel to protect judicial officials and judges. To this end, the Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, has commissioned the first batch of the Close Protection Unit for judicial officers and judges trained by operatives of the Royal Military Forces of the British Army. Speaking at the event, the IG says the unit is meant to reassure judges, especially the ones handling terrorism-related cases, of adequate police protection to enable them discharge their duties without fear. He also used the occasion to thank the British government and sought greater collaboration in areas of training and intelligence sharing. The occasion was attended by the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Andrew Pocock, and the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Abuja, Justice Ibrahim Auta. Adamawa State Governor Bala James Ngelari's sworn-in substantive Chief Judge for the state is Justice Ishaya Banu. The state has been without a substantive judge for more than 3 years.
I, Ishaya Banu, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999. And defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999. So help me God. So help me God.
In a speech, Ngelari says is ready to support the judiciary to work efficiently without interference. He reiterates the need for the three arms of government to work independently but harmoniously.
I have no doubt in my mind that at the end of it all, delivery of justice will be better enhanced, and that the ordinary man will be the better for it. Because when the chips are down, it is indeed the judiciary that is the last hope of the common man.
Responding, Justice Banu promised to perform his duties professionally and thanked the governor for his support to the judiciary.
And pledge that we will work in harmony with the other arms of government. Your Excellency, we have already seen that you are ready to give the judiciary all that you can within the legal resources at your disposal. And I call on all the staff of the judiciary to discipline this good gesture.
Concerned about the security situation in the northeast Nigeria, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is soliciting international support for the war against insurgency. He's also worried about the humanitarian situation aftermath the fall of Mubi, one of the largest towns in the region, to the insurgents. The former vice president says at a news conference in Abuja that the world cannot afford to ignore the country at a time hundreds of thousands of people in the northeast Nigeria are at risk.
This is one of the scenes in one of the internally displaced person camps in Yola after the fall of Mubi to Boko Haram insurgents. It is also the reason why former Vice President Atiku Abubakar believes the time is ripe for the international community to come to Nigeria's aid. This, according to him, is because the country's leadership has failed the people of the affected region.
I call upon the international community to help us. I am making a special appeal to countries with sufficient know-how and experience in tackling terrorism to increase their assistance to us. The relief agencies that are already working here should please double their efforts. And all people of goodwill should help in any way they can and do more than they have been doing to alleviate the pain and suffering that we Nigerians face through this insurgency. This Boko Haram insurgency has been with us now for several years, but has in the last few days taken a step further towards being a disaster of unimaginable proportions. Hundreds of thousands of people are at risk. Nigeria needs world support. The world must not abandon Nigerians in our time of need.
He recounted how insurgents have in recent weeks taken over 16 local governments spread across 3 affected northeast states, which has led to thousands of displaced persons. The former vice president, who was accompanied by senators from the region, say the humanitarian situation is worrisome.
In Yobe, only 2 local governments are being occupied by Boko Haram, Gujiba and Gulani, and then in Adamawa, you now have 5, Madagali, Michika, Mubi, Mubi North, Mubi South, and Maiha. And in Borno, about 9 local governments, Bama, Ngala, Dikwa, Kalabare, Mafa, Marche, Goza, Damboa, Gulani, Gujiba. So that is the exact, areas that are being occupied. Ever since, this terrorist, group have been taking one territory or the other, there was never a time the Nigerian military has recovered 1 inch of any lost territory in these 5 years.
And inevitably, there were questions on what he would have done if he was the president at a time like this.
My response time would have been very, very, very minimal. And secondly, I would have used a large part of the fighting force to come from those areas where the insurgency is, because they know the terrain better than any other Nigerian you can take.
For now, the former vice president is of the view that the situation has gone out of hands, and the earlier the international community comes to Nigeria's aid, the better for the rest of the world.
As the battle against Boko Haram rages on in the country, former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo has commended efforts by the federal government to register all citizens in the country. The former president, who gave the commendation at his Abeokuta home in Ogun State when he received officials of the National Identity Management Commission, however, says the scheme is long overdue.
We have been having, and I hope that this is permanent.
Yes, sir.
I hope so. Is that we've been going from one to the other. But 2 things have changed. When in 1979 I first approached the idea of identity card, there were protests. Those who felt that this would be used by the police, it will be used by the intelligence, and my brothers here, their predecessors, the media, went to town. Today, I think there's no whimper of any objection or any protest, which is, of course, what progress we have made. That this project will enhance security within this country. Yes. It will also make easy the intelligence gathering or not gathering in the country. But let me once again thank you. Thank you, sir, for taking the trouble to.
Nigeria's security authorities have threatened to calm down hard on any attempt to derail the electoral process. They also warned journalists against being used to truncate the process leading to the 2015 general elections. The National Security Advisor, Sambo Dazuki, issued the warning at the opening of a two-day workshop for journalists on security consciousness and awareness in Abuja. The NSA was represented by a director in his office, Ambassador Laiwola Lasende.
It's disheartening to know that sections of the media and some unpatriotic politicians are busy deriding the present administration for their selfish interest. It encourages divisiveness and fuels insurgency and insecurity across the nation. Any further attempt to derail our common resolve to forge a united, peaceful, and prosperous Nigeria will be rebuffed by the relevant security agencies. And I assure you there will never be sacred cows.
Say that security is not the preserve of security agencies or those who have to manage our security. It is all our collective responsibility. My only problem is that when we talk to you, the media, the ones that manage the perception of Nigerians, that once we leave, it's like the rest lives with us. We don't continue to sensitize the Nigerian public. If not, what happened recently in Gombe, we would have been able to manage it in terms of casualties. There would have been less. So I want to seize this opportunity to say, let us find a tiny corner, either in our dailies or in our news summary or news analysis on how best we can sensitize Nigerians to be more conscious of their environment.
It's the CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a break now and we'll be back with more stories. Stay with us.
I no longer worry about deodorant stains with Nivea Invisible for black and white deodorant. No white marks on black and no yellow stains on white. My black stays black and white stays white longer. And I stay 48 hours protected. New Invisible for black and white deodorant from Nivea.
Also available, Nivea Men Invisible for black and white deodorant from Nivea Men.
Thank you for being there, and for more news and other information, you can visit our social media platform. On Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter, @CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV News. CoreTV, leave a space, then news. NOI poll says the approval rating for President Goodluck Jonathan has dropped by 14 points to 60%. The pollsters described the decline as a substantial few weeks after Jonathan's job rating hits the 74% mark. NOI polls noted in a statement that the drop in rating may have a lot to do with the failed promises on a ceasefire deal with Boko Haram insurgents, as well as failure to secure the release of the abducted Chibok girls. There are also concerns over the worsening power supply across the country. It's added sectoral analysis showed that many Nigerians rated the president average in many areas, aside from security, where the job performance is ranked poor across the board. The greatest decline in the president's approval rating was recorded in the Northeast. A federal high court in Abuja has stopped lawmakers elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party from reconvening the House of Representatives. Justice Ahmed Mohammed issued the order in a ruling on an ex parte motion filed by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, and the All Progressives Congress. Justice Mohammed ordered all the parties in the suit to maintain status quo at least until Friday, when the suit would be heard. He also directed the defendants be served as well as to appear in court on Friday to show cause why the prayers sought by APC lawmakers should not be granted. The opposition lawmakers were led to court by a minority leader, Femi Gbajabiamila.
By the courts that any attempt to reconvene the House outside of the rules provided by the House, outside of Section 60 of the Constitution, which allows, which gives the House unfettered powers to regulate its own proceedings. Any such move will be illegal and unconstitutional and null and void. We know it, they know it, but to make assurances, I will sure let the courts make a pronouncement on that. To the ruling PDP. I'm not sure whether the Inspector General of Police was still undergoing residual legal studies at that time, that he was not aware that there had been such decampment, and he did not do anything about it. If you look at our Constitution very closely in Section 42, it says that nobody shall be discriminated against on the basis of his political opinion for another person. If you do not withdraw the security aids of the Speaker of the Ondo State Assembly, then there's no reason that you should remove the aids of the Speaker of the National Assembly. That is discrimination against the provisions of Section 42.
The most important thing that I want to talk about is the impeachment issue that is being bandied around. We need to be very careful. The Speaker has nothing to lose, absolutely nothing. If you go and get 50 members somewhere to illegally impeach the Speaker, then 50 members elsewhere can equally impeach someone who is higher than the Speaker. So we should watch it, because the hunter can become the hunted in this matter. The reality of the issue is that the APC members are ready. We've been calm. We want to exhaust the legal means. Politically, we have every capacity to deal with this issue. And in the next few days, Nigerians...
Nigeria's largest opposition party, the All Progressives Congress, is comfortable with a court order directing all parties to maintain status quo on the suit filed by its lawmakers against moves to declare Speaker Aminu Tambuwal's seat vacant. The party leaders have also decided to suspend measures they were putting in place to respond to actions taken by the People's Democratic Party. Party spokesman Lai Mohammed disclosed this to newsmen on Monday night after a lengthy meeting with members of the APC caucus of the House of Representatives in Abuja.
Well, we met to deliberate on the issue of the Speaker, Right Honorable Aminu Tambuwal, especially the rough tackle that the PDP federal government is leveling. But the ground has been softened before the meeting by the ruling of Justice A.R. Mohammed, who asked that the status quo be maintained and that the House cannot reconvene until November 7, when the parties are before him. All we did after was to take briefings from all the members and the party in respect of our coming convention and primaries. That is sum total of our discussions.
So what is your reaction to the court's case?
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, says he's not surprised by the court's decision to stop alleged moves by PDP lawmakers to reconvene the House this week. The Speaker spoke on the sidelines of a strategy meeting by the APC caucus in the House with the party leadership in Abuja. He described the judiciary in glowing terms.
I expected not anything less from the Nigerian judiciary that have, over time, proven to be a very well judicious. Well, I think I don't want to comment on that for now. Let me avoid that. But I have this to say, that this is not about me. It's about the institution of the National Assembly. It's about our hard-earned democracy. And I commend lovers of democracy in this country and beyond for their support for the sustenance of our democracy.
The People's Democratic Movement is prepared to offer its platform to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to run for the presidency if he fails to secure the presidential ticket of the All Progressives Congress. PDM National Chairman Bashir Yusuf, however, notes that it is left for the former Vice President to approach the party, not the other way round. He, however, denies Atiku's involvement in the affairs of the PDM.
Atiku is a candidate for PDM. I think that's a question for Atiku, honestly. It's not a question for PDM because... Yeah, but you see, the law does not allow a political party to stop anyone from running for an office on the platform of the political party. So we are obliged by law, if he wants to run on the platform of our party, to give him the opportunity. It's not by choice, it's by law. So if he wants to come into our party, we can't stop him. The party must be open to all Nigerians. And if he wants to run for election, we can't stop him. We must give him the opportunity to run. If he wins, we have to field him. So it's a matter of law, it's not a matter of choice.
Ahead of the declaration of a second-term bid, civil servants in Kwara State have endorsed the state's governor, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, for a second term in office. The civil servants who had an interactive session with the governor were led by the Trade Union Congress and the Nigeria Labour Congress leadership in the state. Kola Olumo, TUC chairman in the state, says the governor is good enough for a second term because of his outstanding performance and the fact that he is the only aspirant who has presented himself to civil servants. He also urged him to do more for civil servants if he is re-elected to office. In his remarks, chairman of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Umar Farouk Akombi, urged the governor to resolve some issues of concern to workers, especially those who bought Zenith Bank shares some years back but have not had their shares certificate. He, however, commended the state government on its workers-friendly programs and policies, such as the absorption of 50 disengaged staff of the Fadama program in the state. Responding, the governor, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, directed the head of service, Alhaji Mohammed Dabarako, to compile the list of the affected civil servants in order to resolve the issue promptly, while also thanking the civil servants for their support. And that's it on CoreTV News at 7. Join me again at 9:45 for the primetime news. Thank you for watching. I am Ebulomo Adekunle.